What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to look into the DC Universe and one of my absolute favourite characters, the Green Lantern, Guy Gardner. Now, Guy Gardner is one of these characters you either love or you hate, and as you can tell from me, I'm definitely a fan of him. But who is Guy Gardner, and where does he fit into the giant mythos of the Green Lantern Corps? Guy Gardner is the fourth Green Lantern, or third Green Lantern, depending on if you count the Golden Age Alan Scott. He was preceded by Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So Guy first appeared in 1968 in Green Lantern issue 59. He was created by John Brune and Gil Kane. So Guy's backstory goes all the way back to basically when Hal was first introduced. It turns out when Albansaw actually crash landed on Earth, his ring actually had two options to take over as the Green Lantern of the sector. They were Hal Jordan and Guy, but due to Hal being in closer range than Guy, the ring chose Hal. So when Hal actually found this out, he set up a surprise meeting between himself and Guy just to see what the differences between the two of them were. After meeting and not really getting on at first, they teamed up to help defeat an enemy, and due to this, Hal chose Guy to be his backup lantern, and he ended up going to Oa to train with Kilowog to make sure that when he was ready to take over the role. So throughout his run, Guy has featured in many stories and many different series. He's renowned for his brash personality, and he's based off the ultra macho red-blooded male, which means he's quite arrogant, which can rub people the wrong way. A lot of superheroes as well. But again, because of this, he is seen to have full control over his ring when he uses it, and the ring actually sparks bright energy due to just the confidence he has in his constructability. So next we'll go through a few different stories that he's featured in that are a bit significant in the character's past. So we'll start with Crisis on Infinite Earth, which is quite a big one to jump into. But in this one, Guy is given a unique ring with the task to gather some of the most dangerous villains to do a sneak attack on the Anti-Monitor's base. Unfortunately for Guy, this doesn't go too well because he starts to go a bit crazy and receives a bit of damage when he is stopped by Green Lanterns John and Hal, and he goes a bit out of control. He is in a coma for a while. There's a bit of self-realization, and he finds himself after the coma, and in the end he ends up becoming a key member of the Justice League International. Now, this is a storyline which is famous mainly because he gets one-punched by Batman when he's a bit disrespectful, which kind of is a bit of a sad end to Guy Gardner's Macho Man in that situation, but kind of shows how cool Batman can be. In this one, he is sometimes seen as the leader of the team, but due to his brash personality, he does butt heads with a lot of members of the team. Then there's Guy Gardner Reborn. Now, this is the series that you see with Guy Gardner having a yellow powering. This all comes about because Hal Jordan returns to Earth after being on Oa for a while, meaning Hal has to give up the green powering back to... Guy has to give up the powering back to Hal. Now, Guy ends up finding the yellow powering that used to belong to Sinestro. This has no core battery, instead it charges itself off Green Lantern energy. So he decides that he'll use this and become his own hero. It's this version of Guy that's actually in the fight with Doomsday when you see Superman unfortunately meet his demise. Guy Gardner is a Yellow Lantern. Interestingly, the ring doesn't have as much effect as it does on him as it does on Sinestro, but this is quite early on in the mythos, so Guy seems to have good control over that ring. Next story and next Guy persona, Guy Gardner Warrior. Now, due to Hal becoming Parallax in the Emerald Twilight storyline, the yellow powering itself is losing power and fluctuating out of control. So Guy needs to do something quickly. Blue Beetle actually helps construct a gold suit. The idea of this suit was to help control the power and help Guy still fight. He originally was not a fan of the way the suit looked, and conveniently for Guy, obviously, it got destroyed in a battle, and he used his ring to help create a new one with the pieces of the old suit, a new energy-based suit, which is more to his standards. He ends up losing the suit in a battle with Parallax. Alright, the Sinestro Corps War. So, this is actually where I started getting back into comic books, Green Lantern style. Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night, Brightest Day. Amazing. Jeff Johns did an amazing job on these books. So basically, in this story, Sinestro has been recruiting behind the scenes to bring himself a large corps. He's got crazy villains on his side like Superboy Prime, Cyborg Superman, I think even the Anti-Monitor. He's got Mongrel. They basically do a sneak attack on Oa, and it's Guy, Hal, and John Stewart are captured in this battle by Parallax. And without giving too much away, there's a large battle, and Parallax is defeated. You should definitely get out there and read that story. It is huge. The end result is Parallax gets split between the 4 core batteries for the Earth Green Lanterns. So Kyle Rayner as well. They all have a quarter of Parallax put into their battery. And then there's Blackest Night, as I was saying, the best story I think I've ever read. That's just my opinion. We see Guy become a Red Lantern in this story for the first time. And this is my favourite version of him. I feel the Red Lantern ring just suits him down to the ground. Yeah, that's really cool story. You've got to get out there and see this one. It is a universal-wide story and just expands on the Green Lantern and the emotional spectrum, really, of the Green Lantern mythos, and it is just so cool. You get to meet so many different corpses. You get the Star Sapphires. You get to meet Laughley's, one of my favourite characters as well. I should definitely do a video on Laughley's. There's the Blue Green Lanterns of Hope. It is definitely worth the read. And then you've got Guy Gardner, Red Lantern. And this is the mini-series that, for me, is Guy Gardner's best one that he is in. After all the events that have happened, Hal sends Guy to the Red Lanterns almost to be a bit of a spy to see what's going on, because Guy's already had a Red Lantern ring on him. They feel he's the best candidate. When he gets there, obviously Atrocitus is unsure why he's here. Like, why would he just turn his back on the Lantern Corps? There ends up being a fight between Guy and Atrocitus. This fight, Guy somehow beats Atrocitus and pulls his ring off his finger and puts it on to become the new leader of the Red Lanterns. This is also interesting because the Red Lantern ring is supposedly tied to your heart, so if you remove the ring, you have no heart and you end up passing away. So, in theory, this should be Atrocitus' death, which is Atrocitus is a huge character. However, as we all know, you're never really dead in comic books. Atrocitus finds a new power ring, and it starts a Red Lantern civil war with both sides having many characters on. Guy just wants the team to be better. He doesn't necessarily want them to be the Green Lanterns, but he wants them to have their own sector and do good things throughout the universe. Whereas Atrocitus is still just keen just to take over, basically. In the end, after the big battle, Hal sees what good Guy's doing with the Red Lanterns, and he ends up putting Guy and the Red Lanterns as the protectors of Earth. So, from this moment onwards, it's no longer a Green Lantern sector, it is a Red Lantern sector. So what are Guy's powers and abilities? Well, as a Lantern, he is one of the most powerful constructors, so that is a bow in his hat. It said, as I mentioned, it said the ring sparks like it's going to explode whenever he wields it. He's also an expert in hand-to-hand combat, which helped him when he was in the warrior role. That suit did not let him use power ring style moves, so it helped him vastly there. And he's also been seen to wield different rings throughout the series. He's had the Green Lantern ring, Willpower, the yellow ring of Fear, and the red one of Rage. Now, if you want to follow Guy Gardner, what should you be reading? Well, definitely read The Blackest Night, Brightest Day, Sinestro Corps, anything Jeff Johns did basically with the Lanterns. He's done great work with them. Read Guy Gardner, Red Lantern. That is a great miniseries. I hope they do another one soon. Green Lantern, Emerald Warrior, Guy Gardner, Collateral Damage. All of these are great stories. And basically, if you can find one, give it a good read. I feel it's a character that would definitely be great as a standalone. I mean, he was for a while back in the day. We're great to see him come back and get another good run. Alright guys, so thank you for sticking around and listening to me on this one. Let me know if I've missed anything out. I would love to learn more about Guy Gardner as well. He is, as I said, he's iconic for me because I just think he's a great character. And yeah, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, let me know any more characters I can talk about. Cheers.